Welcome everyone to yet another episode of the Crispy Gamers Podcast. This is Glenn.
This is Troy.
I am your current host for today's episode. Now, when I was looking over the current, because we have, instead of like a whiteboard, because we don't live together at the moment, because we fucking won't, unless one of your goblins leaves, like the fucking green goblin from last episode.
They're set. Okay, don't worry about it.
Easy. So we have...
You're allowed to live somewhere else, believe it or not.
Exactly. So we, instead of having like a whiteboard like some people would, we instead have a Google Doc. So looking over the Google Doc and the current plans that we had, I thought that the best option would be returning to one of the previous episodes where we were talking about the Powerpuff Girls script.
I've honestly forgotten where we were, and that's probably for the better.
So luckily, Google Docs stays where you are in your document, so I know exactly where we are. I'm going to go back a little bit, so if you're coming from that episode onto this one, I'm going to be retelling a little bit of the last bit. If it's too much, I'll probably put like a timestamp at the bottom just in case, but it should be fine. And the goal for today's episode is to get through Act 1. If I can get through Act 1, that's going to be a successful time. Before Troy wants to kill himself.
They separated this into acts?
Yes. So the script is separated into, like, it's a proper script for the show. So it's the teaser at the beginning, which is what we got through last time. Then it was the theme, which we have no idea what the fucking theme would be. And then it goes standard 3-act structure. And that's for the pilot. Now, I will say, once we get, like, up 2 to 3 or 4 pages into this, on this episode, I'm flying blind. I stopped reading at a particular point, which I told Troy about last episode, that we will be hitting this episode, and we'll see what happens. And from there, we're just gonna be flying by the seat of our pants at that point.
I'm as clueless as you are.
Alright, so, returning back to where we were. Super 2021. Interior, Blossom's apartment. Morning. Blossom joins her adorable boyfriend, Clive, for breakfast. As Blossom enters, he puts a...
I just want to stop here with how negative this entire thing has been. I just enjoy it. Just went with her adorable boyfriend. It's just very cute and wholesome, alright?
Yeah, it's a real change of pace. It goes to show that that there was an attempt at some point.
Just one singular writer. Not even writer, it's an intern at the CW. He just likes to be happy.
The Google Doc was open, so they changed it for a minute, and nobody noticed. He puts a birthday hat on her head, smiling. Narrator. After a decade of school, Blossom got a job at a Boston-area biotech firm, where she met her boyfriend Clive. This morning, they're celebrating her 25th birthday, which is technically tomorrow, but tomorrow Blossom has some out-of-state business to attend to. Ding. A reminder text from Spirit Airlines pops up. Brand. Pops up on Blossom's phone. It's time to check in for your flight to Townsville, departing tomorrow at 8 a.m. She shudders. Blossom. I don't want to go to Townsville. Clive rubs her shoulder warmly as he pours her coffee. Clive. After this weekend, you never have to again. Once you sign that document and collect your trust fund, you're free. Besides, you've been so excited to see your sisters after all this time. Yes, Troy?
So what, they put a brand deal on the sad airline flight? Can we talk about the purchasing decision? Like, we want our brand, but not to be in the background, not to be something the characters want to drink. The painful plane ride they don't want to take. That's what we're paying money for. That, right there.
Spirit Airlines, because life is a fucking nightmare.
That's Delta, you gotta get it right.
Fuck, no, God, no.
It's getting to you, the advertising.
No. God.
Also, they released, like, after 10 years of school, she got a job at a bio firm. Like,
it's very weird the way that they've set up the jobs for the girls.
Because that's... Okay, so that's a doctorate level education.
Yes.
To do biology research of any kind ever?
Cause...
But she just got a job, but she's getting a trust fund and not having to care?
So, the timeline of this is really fucky.
Every single layer they've said in this scene fights the other one.
Yeah, so you've got born at 7/5 in the 90s, then they're like 16 in the mid-2000s, and then they swing into 25 in 2021, and it claims there was 10 years of schooling, which technically isn't physically possible if she was 16 and now she's 25.
Because they were talking about college prep. Is the 10 years including high school then?
No, there's no way, because fucking after a decade of school. So they're claiming that she was...
They could pull the fuckery and have that include, like, other... Because schooling is a very weird term for this situation.
I know we're getting incredibly niche
also,
into
to a
this.
degree, that's exactly 10 years. Because the Bachelor is supposed to be 4. Master's after Bachelor is 6 or 5 if you fast track. And then isn't Doctorate another 4 for a total of 8?
Yeah, so I know we're being incredibly
Is that a slow doctorate, but are they rounding up on both ends?
It may seem like we're being like pedantic assholes about looking into
we
the
are being
timeline
pedantic
of this.
assholes. They wrote the script.
Yeah, they mentioned this out. If they just said, and Blossom went to college to get
After
her PhD
years of schooling, you know?
after years of schooling, but when they get so specific to nail down the date, you have to ask the question of how. But
Where? Why?
pain. But alright, Blossom. Maybe I waited too long. I've been so MIA. Buttercup and Bubbles talk all the time. Buttercup even went out to see Bubbles' one-woman show, Bubbles with a Chance of Bubbles.
That's kind of funny. It's very pitiful kind of funny. I enjoy it. But can we... Can you read... What was that line again? Before Bubbles with a Chance of Bubbles?
Buttercup even went out to see Bubbles' one-woman show, Bubbles with a Chance of Bubbles.
Line before Bubbles with a Chance of Bubbles. That is Bubbles with a Chance of Bubbles.
I've been so MIA. Buttercup and Bubbles talk all the time. Maybe I waited too long.
I've been so MIA.
Yeah, so MIA.
Does any human say that? Does anyone?
I mean, I occasionally use the term MIA whenever I'm... Like, if somebody texted me or something like that and I was busy, I was like, hey, I'm sorry, I was MIA for today. I was busy doing da-da-da-da-da. But that's normally something you only say in a text message.
But that's the entire thing, though. Sorry, I was MIA. Sorry, I'm so MIA. What the...
Yeah, like you say, hey, I'm MIA because of X thing that happened.
Because MIA is already an abbreviation, and it's an overly serious abbreviation to convey tone. You don't then add another tone indicator onto that.
Clive, babe, you had a messed up childhood that culminated in a traumatic event. It's like your therapist says, you need to go out and make your own way in the world for the sake of your mental health. My neck hurts from the whiplash of the tone here, okay?
I don't care. Just hearing the first ever line Clive delivers as, babe, are you sure you...
He had an earlier line saying, "Out of this weekend, you never have to again. Once you sign the document, you get trust money."
That's exposition. That's not a character, okay? Someone's got to say that, and it doesn't matter who it is. It's irrelevant. That's not the character talking. That's the writer talking, okay? And I accept that. Clive's first line is, "Babe, babe, are you feeling bad? You barely touched your insert food here."
Your dream burger, no. Blossom, I hope I don't have a panic attack while I'm there. Clive, if you do freak out, just do that exercise Dr. Pat taught you. Blossom nodding, right, visualize my inner child. You know, the traumatic child from the traumatic childhood that she had so traumatically when she traumatically killed a man traumatically?
But can we...
We're going to be stopping on every line today.
Visualize my inner child. That's some fruity ass bullshit if I've ever heard it. They just said what sounds therapy-ish.
Yeah. She gazes into the middle distance, where her childhood self magically appeals, waving to her reassuringly.
She gazes into the middle distance. I can only assume that she just stares straight at the camera and they have this underpaid CG department that fucking, like, rainbow bridges that motherfucker. And then it's just animated bubbles right there. And then they just move on. It's
not an actual child actor, it's the cartoon.
It has to be. It has to be.
Ding! Another text. This time from Bubbles to both Buttercup and Blossom. It says, "Happy birthday Eve, my BBS! Exclamation point. See you tomorrow." Blossom Super conversation with Clive, grins and texts back. Can't wait to see you guys, seriously. After a beat, Buttercup texts me and the number 3. Clive, it's gonna be super fun.
God, just all of that's a normal text conversation. Just having read out me and the number 3.
You gotta be specific with this. Like, interior, Mayo's office day. Jojo, remember? Now in his 20s, sits in a well-appointed office. A plaque on his desk reads, Jojo Modell, Mayo of Townsville. They're doing this. So the original Mayo from the show, the original Mayo is just fucking gone. Who the fuck knows where the original Mayo is, you know? Just kill the cast. Kill the cast. He reads through a report in front of his desk, of his secretary, Gina, 50. Why so specific? He has a pet monkey sitting on his desk. Monkey.
Exactly 50 years old.
Indeed.
I can also... They really... The amount of tropes, they're just sitting there, just... Man sits in desk with plaque. Plaque says job. Job. Look at job.
Come on, show don't tell. That's what that is, right?
It's technically show don't tell. It's really like painfully predictable at this point.
God.
It hurts.
Gina, this is just initial polling data. You've got time to pull ahead. Narrator, unlike our prodigal Powerpuffs, Mojo's son, Jojo, stayed in Townsville. Indeed, his dedication to the city has carried him all the way to public office. He was the youngest person ever elected mayor of Townsville. Unfortunately for him, a second term looks unlikely. Jojo, I've delivered on everything I promised, except free gelato Fridays. That's only because the perfect scoop turned out to be a front for meth trafficking.
What was the point of having his father die? That he's just a good person in this scenario. Like this. Where's the disconnect? Are they gonna reveal that it's never been him in the first place? Are the Powerpuff Girls the bad guy? Is that what this is? Is this the whole delivery?
So go ahead and make your pitch of where you think the show is trying to take this before we continue.
Well, obviously, the first bad guy is now the fucking cocaine gelato.
Cocaine? Meth gelato. Meth gelato.
Meth gelato, irrelevant. It's insert name of hard drug for TV here.
Jesus.
And calling it the emotional resonance is that one of the Powerpuff Girls is then addicted to meth, and it's a fight your own inner demons delivery.
Oh, it's Bubbles. Bubbles been in rehab twice, remember?
I hate that this.
Then, exasperated, Elisa Lawrence has no experience. She's impulsive and reactionary. Gina, she's exciting. Jojo, you mean she's not a white man? Gina cringes.
What?
You know, you hear the reverse discrimination, but until it happens to you. No offense, you totally owned your position. Optics don't hurt, though. Gina, okay.
Is this why they make him the bad guy? Did they invest fucking 4 lines to say he's the perfect mayor, but he's like casually racist?
Casually misogynist.
Because the joke is always that in fiction that like death is the worst thing you can do, so writers build stakes by doing death so often, death itself gets fucking reduced to nothing in narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to do something petty like, look, he killed a dog. He fought an animal. Fucking look at him. He's so great, isn't he? You know how he's evil? He's somewhat misogynistic in an indirect way where he seems ignorant.
Jojo, musing. There is one thing people love more than virtue signaling, Gina. Gina, frozen desserts of Italian origin? Jojo, no. Security, safety, and I can provide that. Jojo feeds his monkey a treat. Gina, with all due respect, Mr. Mayo, Townsville is a candy-colored bubble of privilege and comfort. Ever since the creature attack stopped, one of America's safest cities. I don't think people are voting from a place of fear. Jojo, what about my pet monkey? That was meaningful in the last election. Gina, post Harambe, no one cares anymore.
1. That's disrespectful to Harambe. 2. What is a monkey treat? I have one answer. What treat do you feed a monkey? What context? Is it just a dog treat you painted a banana on? What is this?
Is it a JoJo snack?
Is he tossing banana chips? Is it just normal food?
It's
Then
whatever you want it to be,
labeled a
Troy.
treat. Is he handing donuts to this monkey? I want answers.
Jojo, I need to read through all of this. Go ahead and knock off for lunch. Gina, one more thing. The Powerpuff Girls are coming in town tomorrow. The color drains from Jojo's face. He's shaken. Jojo, tomorrow? All three? Gina, just for the weekend. The Gazette called asking for comment. Jojo, tell Frank I said no comment. That'll be all.
The face drains from his eyes. Oh no, the children with laser eyes are coming in. God, I mean, I guess they're like 25-year-olds. They're like reasonable. At this point, they've established they're more or less a carnival act. Because yes, they ended up killing his dad, but his dad was like attacking the city or something.
But he was using a giant squid and claiming that he was the hero. So therefore, sad protagonist.
Okay, I get this is to build narrative, but come on, if you spent time trying to make a meaningful change in your community and you've supposedly made the place literally a perfect suburb, but you cannot accomplish the idea that Squid Man attack is somehow not the right choice of action? Can we... You learned his lesson for him, but you still, I mean... It wasn't even like a... I guess we'll have to make a quick vacation, you know, I guess I'll try to avoid that area, you know, I understand what's happening here, like a normal fucking human being, but no. Oh, no comment. No comment.
Gina nods, exit. As Jojo mules all this oval, his monkey screeches. It gives Jojo an idea. He picks up his cell, pulls up a contact. Short stack. Hesitates for a moment, then dials. I need you. Exterior Townsville. Airport curb/Uber pickup. Brand. Day. Buttercup exits with her duffel. Like a duffel bag. We see Bubbles, with her... Yes?
We're going to gloss over the fact that the main villain was introduced as doesn't like protagonists for somewhat valid reasons, is somewhat casually racist, and has one communication named, and I quote, short stack.
It's a CW. What are you expecting? We see Bubbles before us, suite of luggage in line for an Uber brand. She's accompanied by a middle-aged guy with a camera. She spots Buttercup heading over. Bubbles, here she comes, start filming. Then Buttercup, happy birthday, bitch. Betch. Not bitch. Betch.
Delivery's likely to be much better on that one. I can give the writers a pass. Also, the Uber sponsorship makes sense, because unless they get an Uber or a Lyft sponsorship or whatever, they sit there going, sits in line for ride-sharing app.
Here's a note. They can fucking fly. Why do you need an Uber?
I get what you're saying here, but they've also taken the time to establish most of them are fucking scared to use their powers, except the one that's just a carniac.
They're in Townsville. Everyone knows they're here. This is the one, like, location that they could use their powers. Well, people would go, oh, the Powerpuff Girls are back. Like, we fucking know they are.
But didn't they get ran out of the city as a universal evil?
They didn't. Okay, they got told they were not allowed to fight in Townsville. They were never told their powers were illegal.
Oh yeah, and it's fucking. Are you sure this isn't the fucking average Superman movie trope where it's like,
yeah,
bogey on the scene, send the jets.
Exactly. They hug happily until Buttercup notices the cameraman. Ah. Buttercup, what's with Al Molasses over here? Does he work for Bravo? So I guess they're referencing Johnny Bravo. I guess that's her manager.
Is that?
It's kind of a cute reference, but fuck
why
you.
are we making CW Powerpuff Girls and not CW Johnny Bravo? Honestly, if you got like any comedian to play Johnny Bravo and gave him a funny enough prosthetic set, and I just got to see him exist, I would pay money. I would pay so much money.
The problem is Johnny Bravo would not function in today's society. That man is too problematic.
You just get him a new set of writers. Like, literally.
No one would accept it. Fuck that.
Someone would, okay?
Bubbles. No, I'm making a tasteful doc about my comeback/solo career, which starts with capturing our reunion, which is kind of a big D. The cameraman. Oh, this is my manager, Ace. Ace, hey. So, for context, Ace...
Why did they even introduce him?
Here's why. Ace is a member of the Gangrene Gang. You know you have an understanding of like what the Gangrene Gang looks like, right? Like the green guys who are like kind of the gang.
No. I assume from the name Gangrene Gang, they are some type of enemy related to either fucking the color green or the actual like infection where your body slowly dies.
So funny thing, one of the Gangrene Gang ended up being, I think, the drummer for the band Gorillaz at one point. So technically, because they're referencing it in this show, it connects it to Gorillaz again, which is the funniest shit. Yeah, that happened. That was a whole thing.
This is very specific.
It is. Ugh. Buttercup, when you say reunion, to be clear, you mean like a personal reunion? Because I'm not, Bubbles. You're not interested in a re-team or a reboot of the Powerpuff Girls. No one is! I know. Even though America would go rip shit bonkers for it. Ace, they would.
You can't just say America isn't interested in this new trope activity and then proceed to say that it would be interesting.
No, the show is claiming that America's gonna go rip shit bonkers for this.
But somehow they're not interested.
Yeah.
Can we just... There's layers here.
So, let's see here. Buttercup affectionately strokes one of Bubbles' pigtails. Buttercup, you haven't changed at all. Bubbles, winking. Gotta stick to the character Bible. They smoke.
It's not even bad writing. I just love the idea of a stage command that's just written as winking. That's on the same level. Okay, for my fucking we were reading the fucking stage play for I think it was I want to say it was Hamlet. And I remember at one point, one of the stage directions just says, dies. And this is on the same level, okay?
They smoke, but the looks they exchange are poignant. Interior car, day. Bubbles, Buttercup, and Ace ride in the back of an Uber. Brand. They pass the old Welcome to Townsville billboard, which now says, Jojo Mondale, mayor, with a smiling photo of Jojo. Buttercup, so Mojo's son is the mayor now? Bubbles, remember what a huge crush he had on Blossom? Weird kid. Hey, you know, we should go see... Hey, you know who we should go see while we're here? Sarah. She was always so great to us. Buttercup, Dad blew that one. Bubbles. Yeah, well, now he just dates rando beagle bunnies and science hoes.
I'm processing so much here. They've never talked to or heard of this man that's made large change in their own hometown. They still only remember him, not even facetiously, as a fucking 6-year-old that had a crush on someone else, because that's what that means. And they don't remember their surrogate stuff. They've also said the word science pose in this script.
And beagle bunnies. Buttercup looks out the window and sees Townsville Gifts, a shop still selling Powerpuff Girls souvenirs. Buttercup, look, they rejected us, but they're still hawking our merch. Pathetic. Bubbles, we put this town on the map, like the aliens in Roswell. Buttercup, or the witches in Salem. The car turns onto their childhood street. Buttercup, I can't believe Blossom is coming. She's been a total ghost aside from the obligatory holiday texts. Buttercup, yeah, it's probably only because Dad made it mandatory for us to be here, IRL, to access the trusts. So, what are you going to do with the money? Buy a little cabin, rescue a few snoodles or doodles?
I didn't even watch this show, okay? You're riding, like, so blind.
So, I think the reference they're trying to make here is Bubbles in the show had, like, a bunch of plushes and, like, drew a lot and, like, gave them stupid as fuck names because, of course, they were, like, 5, so it makes sense. So I guess they're trying to reference that, but it's done in a way that no one has any context unless you've seen the original show, which doesn't make any sense if you're trying to make an adaptation that's supposed to stand on its own. So it's a really confusing, like, are you trying to make a sequel thing here? Because you're intending this to be like the replacement from what you've said before, how the cartoon was based off this version. So what is your intention here, CW? What are you trying to do here other than sell merch?
Can they even sell merch with this? Honestly, the costuming seems kind of garbage from what I've seen so far. What possible merch can they sell with this?
Action figures? Posters?
Oh man, grayscale character.
Pop
you liked
Funkos,
once,
Funko
that were
Pops,
pretty
Funko
fi-
Pops of each girl, Funko Pops, Funko Pop of JoJo, Funko
No.
Pop of Mojo.
F to the plastic.
Buttercup, I'm not a total cliche. I'm going to have chickens too. Suddenly they look out the window, alarmed. Bubbles, what the fuzzy lumpkins? We see a mob of people gathered near the
Pain. Suffering, if you will.
gathered near the Powerpuff Girls' childhood home. Some are press. Some carry signs that say things like, no violence in Townsville. A scant few are fans. Buttercup, dad alone at the press. Exterior, Professor Utonium's house. Day. The sisters get out of the Uber. Brand. The small crowd surrounds them, yelling questions. Are you here to start trouble? Etc. Journalist. Are the Powerpuff Girls re-teaming? Buttercup. Hell no. I'm not caping for Townsville ever again. I'm here to collect the dead, then I'm out. Bubbles. Throttle down, boo. Your Chem X is showing. Then sweetly, who is this?
Isn't that supposed to be the thing that gives them powers? Is that...
This is the first time they've referenced Chemical X.
Isn't... How does that make them somewhat normally human reacting to fucking being pressured? Is Chemical X steroids? Which would make more sense for the story, actually, but...
Who knows? They didn't explain it in this
here.
story. They never explained what the fuck Chemical X is in this iteration so far, so we don't fucking know. Then, sweetly, who is this? Reveal a cute little girl standing by the front door. Henrietta. Hello, I'm Henrietta. I'm a huge fan. Blossom is my favorite, but all of you are feminist icons. Bubbles. Thank you, cutie. Henrietta. Can I have a hug? Bubbles leans down to hug Henrietta. Buttercup notices a large furry caterpillar on Henrietta's shoulder. Arcing up towards Bubbles' ear, she instantly swats the caterpillar into the bushes. Henrietta bursts into tears in full panic. Henrietta. That was my pet Gloria. Buttercup begins to mumble an apology as Bubbles. Daddy! Still heal. Still heal. That's 25. Still heal. Camera shuttles click as Drake opens the door to greet his daughters. Bubbles hugs them. Ace films. Drake goes. Buttercup strides past Drake inside the house. Interior, Professor Utonium's house.
Are we gonna glaze over the little girl that just wanted to say hi but had a weird, like, crazy demon caterpillar, but that was somewhat a threat? She was incredibly sad, but there wasn't any other motive. I thought that was like, where do we get conflict with these characters? The only action we've seen is a traumatic scene where one of the main former villains fucking dies.
So don't worry.
This isn't even exposition heavy. This is just what's happening. Why are we here in any of this?
Don't worry. The caterpillar scene will matter later. Interior, Professor Utonium's house. Same day. As Drake shuts the door behind Buttercup and Bubbles, Buttercup. Dad, why'd you call the press? Blossom's gonna freak out and the last thing we need is another crack in the bell jar. Bubbles. Blossom's fine. We saw her on Insta that she has a boyfriend. I saw on her LinkedIn, brand, that she got promoted. I saw on Facebook, brand, that she still talks to Grandpa despite their political differences. Buttercup, coming back here is probably triggering for her. That's in air quotes in the script, by the way.
They didn't go like, oh, she's alright, she posted one thing alright, she seems like she's doing fine. It was, here is all of her socials. I have been stalking her for the past 2 years. It appears she has some contact with her If you put this and you took that out, you changed the tone a little bit and put it in a fucking, like, spy thriller, whatever the hell, that would be the briefing for a target to kill. That right there. Those 3 fucking social media posts, that's what that is.
Bubbles. Why? Because she's the one who killed Mojo? I mean, moveon.org.
Please look up moveon.org.
No, I'm not. Fuck that.
Please. I want answers and I will not be satisfied.
We hear a chair squeak. It's Blossom sitting at the kitchen table. Awkward! Exclamation point. Ace turns to Drake, extends his hand. Ace, I'm Ace. Vulgo management. Drake shakes his hand as Blossom rises to greet her sisters. Blossom, fondly, good meal. Buttercup and Bubbles come in for a long, strong group hug. Drake watches them, pleased, and he turns to Ace, who has temporarily lowered his camera to observe the reunion. Drake, you getting this?
Can I just get a cut that's just Ace and Clive saying like 3-word sentences because they don't really have to be there? Just the clip of "You'll never have to go there again, babe." Hey, I'm Ace.
Interior, Powerpuff Girls' home, kitchen table, night. The sisters sit on one side of the dinner table, Drake on the other. The room is full of birthday balloons. Ace films. Drake, I can't believe you girls are 25. Well, it's the 3 Bs back in Townsville. It'll be nice to catch up, huh? Blossom is looking at the red phone, on display in a glass case like a museum piece. She starts downing a glass of wine. Buttercup, yes, and it would be nice to collect the money we sold our childhoods for. Where do we sign? Drake, you loved being a Powerpuff Girl. Blossom, it's not like we had a choice. Bubbles, Bloss, you loved it. You were always the first one out the door when the alarm went off. Buttercup, ah yes, the alarm. I'm sure there's no use for it now that it's the scariest thing in Townsville is a Hobby Lobby. Drake, actually I didn't want to bring this up yet, but I have a reason to believe that darkness may be returning.
Can we talk? So I get the idea that this is supposed to be somewhat traumatic, but downing a glass of wine in the house while making the social interaction is a little on the head.
Are you asking for subtlety in the CW?
Also, I have an important question here.
Yes.
Is it drunk driving if they fly while they're drunk? Is there limits here?
No, at that point it would be the equivalent of like drunk, just...
Wait, no, they were hungover when they killed Mojo Jojo.
Exactly.
The bar is already crossed.
Yep.
We're
Blossom.
over at 17 when they killed Mojo Jojo.
Blossom, Novus, Dad, you don't mean like Bubbles, monsters? Blossom begins to hyperventilate. It's a panic attack. Drake, I think the city may need the Powerpuff Girls again. Off Blossom, losing consciousness. Buttercup, Bloss?
I can't handle a fucking tone nothing says, "We are in danger. We need help." Oh, God, monsters, monsters. I shall call you again. Like, can we not? There's no way to make. There's no director that can deliver that writing. There's none.
That's the reason why I'm delivering it the way I am. Like, it may be incredibly generic and bad, but the thing is that I cannot imagine any actors or actresses that can take this script and make it work. Like, it would take some comically big brain actors with some directors that really know their shit. And the thing is that those kind of people would not be involved with this project at all.
Because I'm basically taking for granted that you can deliver the roles well. Honestly, all of the Powerpuff Girls themselves are at a point where what they're supposed to be delivering is intricate enough that I don't know if it would work. But, like, anything else, I assume CW, because of their budget, is likely to hire a bunch of stiff nobodies.
Well,
and then the only thing to hope to save it is that the director has a brain.
The actresses that they hired, they didn't seem to be like... Because I looked them up for the first episode. I can't remember who the hell they are now. But they seem to be people who, like, had, like, acting chops. But reading through the script more and more, I wouldn't put this on anyone, in all honesty.
Like, again, the
like,
thing
no,
they
no
laid out
flack
is really
to...
impossible. Like,
no flack to the actors and actresses that got signed on to this project. But I don't know if fucking anyone could do this. Interior, Henrietta's lair. Night. In an apartment, we see Henrietta seated at a child-sized desk. She repairs the woolly bear caterpillar we saw Buttercup swat away earlier. The caterpillar is a robot. Reveal there are hundreds of robot pillows crawling around the room. Henrietta cranks the volume on her record player. Neighbor, hey, turn it down. Henrietta, sorry, Miss Carruthers. Henrietta pushes one of her woolly bears through a wall vent. Interior apartment, directly below. Night. Miss Carruthers, Henrietta's neighbor, 50s, watches UFC Brand on his couch. The woolly bear emerges from his vent and traverses across the couch cushion before crawling into his ear. Mr. Caruthers shakes his head at first, and quickly settles into his new normal. Strange yellow glint in his eyes. Glowworm continues to play faintly as we end of Act 1.
Oh, okay. This is the villain now.
For the pilot, at least. By the way, they're ripping this off from an episode of the original show where the same shit happened.
Honestly, that's kind of all you can do.
Act 2. What?
Honestly, this is much less like layered in pain as it is just kind of sad as we get into like normal show stuff. The intro's just fucked. This is just...
Don't worry. We'll get there. We're right about to where I stopped and I'll be flying blind. Act 2. Interior. Powerpuff goes home. Kitchen floor. Night. Blossom's out cold. Bubbles and Buttercup hover over. Buttercup. Bloss, wake up or we would leak your nudes everywhere. And that's where I stopped.
This is how you stop a panic. This is how you're...
Try it.
Someone in a stressful situation responding to stimuli. You don't comfort them. You introduce more stressors. This is your response.
Come on. If someone is having a bad day, crying, something bad happened, you tell them, oh yeah, by the way, I killed your dog. You feel better now? Get up.
I can't even make a joke about that one. That's just such bad life.
That's not something to be a joke or taken funny of.
That's something
That's
that
not
creates the
good.
arc in a realistically delivered drama right there. That's villain level shit.
Yeah, that's like someone who, when the hero is down and the villain's just taunting them. That's what they do at that point. That's what they say. Buttercup, off Bubbles' confusion. That worked on you once. So, Bubbles nods, remembering, then thinks, closes her eyes. Bubbles, grew up in a small town, and when the rain would fall down, I just stare out my window. Blossom, please, not break away. Bubbles, it's working. Buttercup, dreaming of what could be, and if I'd end up happy, I would pray I could break away. Blossom, forcing herself up. Okay, I'm up. Buttercup, too late. Bubbles and Buttercup, so pitchy, so passionate. I'll spread my wings. I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. The girls are interrupted by the Monster Mash playing downstairs after their confusion. So, brand, song, brand.
They just went panic attack. We've responded to the panic attack in the worst possible way. And then suddenly after that, we have a practiced and somewhat okay way to respond to this. But it's this weird cultural reference. Combined by this weird cultural reference. Hee. Also, can we discuss the fact that realistic question here. Why isn't Clive here? If Clive is supposedly the rock that holds her up during this.
Clive's not healed, remember? So Clive stayed wherever the fuck Blossom was. Clive isn't healed. Ace is healed.
Yes.
The cameraman
the
of
question
Bubbles.
is, for this character, if she supposedly secluded herself from her own family and found solace in at least an human and this place, and she worries about leaving said situation because she could be stressful, why did she not take said person?
What I'm expecting with how they've set this up, with how Clive is supposed to be the perfect boyfriend, that Clive is a sleeper agent for JoJo.
Oh, I absolutely believe that, but I'm saying for the character would probably do this. And they didn't give us a good excuse why Clive isn't here either.
I mean, they didn't have Blossom fly here. They had her take Spirit Airlines.
Again, fucking worst product placement. Holy shit. The Uber one is just they would have paid more money than Lyft. That's just how it works.
But again, we're trying to apply logic and reason to a CW show. Interior. Powerpuff goes home. Drake's lab. Night. The sisters find Drake dancing in front of a PowerPoint, eating a go-go. Brand. He accidentally drips some on his shirt. So we're stealing jokes from fucking Dimension 20 now. We're stealing shit from online D&D podcasts now, because that's just what's happening. Yeah, no, there's a show on Dimension 20 by Brendan Lee Mulligan called Fantasy High, and the sad, depressed dad just like constantly eats yogurt and has a drip on himself. So they're just literally just stealing a joke from him.
Are you saying that this man is not only saving College Humor, but the CW?
Yes, he is! Brendan Lee Mulligan!
I would like to just stop and have a Brennan Lee Mulligan appreciation segment.
That man is a gift onto Dungeons and Dragons. Like, Matt Molso is God, Brendan Lee Mulligan is Jesus.
I literally have not seen Dimension 20, but I physically I had loved College Humor when I was younger, because it was when they were doing like better stuff, and their writing, I feel like it dropped. And I have only started watching College Humor shit again because Brendan Lee Mulligan exists.
So, legitimately, I am really contemplating getting their fucking subscription service drop out purely because they have more seasons of his stuff on there. Because right now on Dimension 20, you can get for free, I think, the first year of Fantasy High, half or like 3 episodes of A Crown of Candy, the first season of the Unsleeping City, and they're all so good. Like, all of, like, legitimately, if you haven't checked out his shit, Brendan Lee Mulligan is a fucking, like I said before, Matthew Mercer, God. Brendan, really funny Jesus. And then
I'm not sure how I feel about this point. I enjoy that he exists.
Another side note, Abria Iyengar, she's doing some real good stuff too. I haven't seen enough of it to place her in that hierarchy, but she slaps as well.
I understand this is all probably good shit that he's created, but I'm cheap. I am almost done with Dungeons and Daddies though, because they're approaching the
So all the stuff that I just listed is for free on YouTube. The Dropout stuff is season 2 of both Unsleeping City and Fantasy High, the rest of A Crown of Candy, and also he did like one where, imagine Lord of the Rings, but the players are playing Mordor, and that's Escape from Bloodkeep, and he has Matthew Mercer playing a character in it. So honestly, if anything else, yeah, it's real good.
Money.
Yeah, honestly, check it out. Like seriously, check it out. But yeah, Brendan Lee Mulligan over.
I'm not going to get to it, but I'm going to say that I will.
You still haven't watched fucking Asterios' podcast?
No, I haven't.
God, fucking hell. But back to the sad script. Drake. Sorry, girls, I have a condition where if I see someone faint, I faint. So I had to grab some sugar. Notices the go-good stain. Now would you look at that? Back to the girls. Take a seat, please. I made cocoa. Bubbles happily sips.
Can we...
Yes?
So, supposedly he had the forethought to create these children because he had the instinct of this, but he gave them all brand deals, so for like money, but with this money he's a womanizer, but he can't handle literally anything, so what is this character? This isn't even...
The best way to describe him is Honey Boo Boo's mom, with none of the redeeming qualities of Honey Boo Boo's mom. And that's saying a lot. Bubbles happily sits. Buttercup and Blossom take a beat. Buttercup, damn. Blossom, I do love that cocoa. Drake, and I love family time. Drake shuts the door with a remote as the girls sit. On the PowerPoint, a graph of various squiggly lines. Drake continued, as you girls may or may not know, I've been monitoring supernatural evil activity here in Townsville. Ever since you left, mostly it's a lot of dead ends and conspiracies. Until this morning, when I saw this!
I get why it happens, but just throw it out there, the fucking, I have this sonar that finds the evil ghosts.
Drake pulls up a picture of a missing kitten, posted on Nextdoor. Blossom squints. Buttercup rolls her eyes. Bubbles, so cute, I want it in a frame. Drake, sorry, wrong thread, bear with me. Types for a moment. Here we are. Drake pulls up another Nextdoor thread, entitled, Is anyone else's internet fucked? With several complaints below. Buttercup, yeah, this makes a lot more sense. Drake, my dear Buttercup, it's not the what, but the why. I investigated, and the provider's not to blame. There's no explanation for why this
Damn.
cluster of people in a
I was
2-block
so
radius
excited for the
doesn't have
fucking
fucking
Powerpuff Girls
internet.
episode where they fucking annihilate Spectrum. I was so ready for that. Please give me the Powerpuff Girls, destroy local monopolies, and give the United States a chance to have efficient internet. Please. I don't care about this script anymore. Give me that.
Fucking DirecTV is the villain. Drake, for 2-block radius doesn't have working internet, except for a mysterious, unusual concentration of high-frequency technology nearby, suggesting the evidence of a secret, evil laboratory. Bubbles
they're-
gasp with excitement.
they're
Buttercup
just-
rolls her eyes.
They've created a blackout. They're torrenting too many movies.
They're torrenting the Powerpuff Girls. Go kill them. They're torrenting our brand.
How do you fucking...
There's a guy using NordVPN
He's
in order
using
to
all
watch
of the
shows in
internet.
Britain on Netflix. It's illegal.
He's on ExpressVPN, NordVPN, and...
He's on every random ass VPN that sponsors YouTubers. By the way, if any of y'all want to sponsor us, well,
nobody's even gonna watch this video, let's be honest.
no one's gonna watch
All
it.
10 views... No, fuck it, let's be honest. There are 2 of you that clicked this specific middle point. I appreciate you.
Yeah. But God, Buttercup, that might be scary if you didn't say it like a cruise ship MC. Drake, the reach of the outage suggests some pretty heavy-duty tech, so I don't want to get too close. Undermanned, or should I say, under-gifted. Buttercup, you shouldn't. Blossom, so you want us to go see if there's an evil lab based on a thread from next door about spotty internet. Drake, uh-huh. Buttercup, and you show this evidence is something you staged in order to drum up a comeback for us? Drake, honey, you think I would lie to you?
Yes.
Buttercup, yes, you lie. All the time. Blossom, remember when you let the colossal gopher out during the sweeps? Drake, that was one time. We were in a ratings hole. Buttercup, and we ended up in a literal hole created by a giant gopher who tried to kill us with a tree trunk. Drake, now that was good TV. Buttercup, okay, well, I'm gonna pass. Blossom, same. Drake pouts. Bubbles stands up, turns to her sisters. Bubbles, guys, how can you tone down an evil recon mission? Especially when said Mish would make a perfect storyline for my documentary. Bubbles is back. Buttercup, not to be confused with your other film, Bubbles on her back.
Can...
The fact that all just registered at once.
Every time I look at the script, I'm like, that's weird, I should talk about that. And then the next half of the sentence hits, and I'm like, never mind, that's irrelevant. We've got this to talk about.
So what part do you want to dissect first?
Again, I'm still not gonna get over the heavy-duty equipment. They have too much internet. They're holding too many packets hostage.
They have an Xbox.
They've taken over the IPv6.
They have an Xbox, a PS5, a Switch, and a Valve Index all in one room. It's terrifying. They shouldn't have that much technology.
They have a 2 gigabit internet plan. Do you know how dangerous that is?
They have
Nobody
a
needs
GTX
that much internet.
1080.
What are they gonna do? Stream 2 HD movies at once? Sacrilege.
They're gonna have Hulu and Netflix open.
Like, fuck. Also, are they just gonna casually drop that these fucking children's characters at 25 have done porn?
Bubbles, come on, it'll be fun. Plus, we haven't hung out in like a decade. I really miss us. Please.
Yes, they are just gonna gloss over that like they didn't.
Buttercup, warmed up by the cinnamon, but plays it cool. Buttercup, we have a day to kill before we get our monies. And maybe there'll be something for me to beat up. Bubbles, totally. Blossom, evil recon mish. The sisters look to Blossom. She looks away, ashamed. Blossom, I think I'm just gonna take a nap. Buttercup rolls her eyes. Bubbles, take a deep breath. Bubbles, grew up in a small town. Buttercup, forget it, Bubs. Let her have a boring phone sex with her pasty boyfriend.
This is emotional manipulation of the highest order. She literally had a real panic attack in front of you. God, this is terrible. I hate this. I hate these Powerpuff Girls.
Drake, girls, don't fight. How about Buttercup goes with Bubbles and Blossom stays with me? We haven't had any QT since you got home. Bubbles shuts her eyes.
Any
takes a
other
deep
character
breath.
that would have been a reasonable answer, and now I like that worse. Because this character, it's not even, these aren't even like, I have flaws and I can work through them, or I have issues. None of these characters are working on themselves. Literally none. And I hate it. Except possibly Blossom, who was the one getting fucking attacked emotionally and physically.
Yeah. When she opens them, she sees young Blossom examining chemicals in the BG. Young Blossom, you can't do this. It's just Dad. Blossom's eyes, the go-go stain on Drake's shirt. Cut to.
Cut to what?
Interior, Blossom's rental car. Night. Blossom drives. Buttercup's in front. Bubbles in the back with Ace. Examining Drake's stats on an iPad. Bran. While Ace films. Bubbles. Okay, so this potential evil lab Dad found is something between Donut Thing and the volcano. Oh, that's interesting. Buttercup. No, it's not. No one cares. Bubbles. Explaining to the camera. The Cano's owned by Rowdy Rough Boys, 3 brothers who were a failed spin-off version of us. Buttercup, except they had no superpowers, and they all got Lou Pullman.
What is that even?
Lou Pullman, it did. Very top line. I have no idea what the fuck that's referencing, and I don't know if that's a me problem or a show problem. But what I'm gonna say is I need to go use the bathroom. You look that up, and we'll cut real quick.
Sure. Fuck.
3, 2, 1. So, oh fuck.
You ready for who Lou Pullman is?
I guess. What is it?
I googled Lou Pullman.
Okay.
Nothing. I googled Lou Pullman. One random B-list actor in a couple of movies. No, seems to have a perfectly fine career with no response. This reference hit nothing.
Did you spell it right?
You didn't give me the phone.
Lou. Because I'm real fucking curious now.
Yeah. What's the last name?
Peallman-ed.
Lou Pearlman.
Yeah, Lou Pullman.
That is not what you said.
Roll the clip back. Future Glenn. What the fuck did I say? If I'm wrong, cut this.
Lou Pearlman. He funded boy bands. It's saying they got fucking clapped like NSYNC or the Backstreet Boy.
Okay, that's what she's saying. That takes so much effort to look
That's
up.
such a specific reference.
That's like, what the fuck? That's not, like if you said just NSYNC or, what, Big Time Rush or something like that, you would hit a big ol' market. Like Lou Pullman? Really? Really? Just too specific.
I think this is the smartest reference in the entire script.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like a fucking mile.
Bubbles. If the Rowdy Rough Boys have turned evil in hopes of rebooting their franchise, we stop them, then maybe Townsville will want us back. Blossom exhales deeply. Buttercup turns towards Bubble. Buttercup, Bubba, let me tell you something. When we got outlawed by Townsville for accidentally killing a madman and then unceremonially ditched by Blossom, I was pissed. Blossom shifts in her seat, guilty and annoyed at the dig. Buttercup continued, but it forced me to reevaluate my life. And I realized how exhausted I was defending myself against misogynist morons and pretending I was straight for the cameras. It was fun while it was fighting baddies, but it changed. Blossom, mostly to herself. Yeah, it did. Bubbles, not really listening. Do you guys think JoJo would do an interview for my doc? Buttercup, you know, I don't think he would, because that whole we killed his dad thing. Bubbles, Bloss, maybe you can ask for me. I bet he's still obsessed with you. Blossom, he was never obsessed with me. Buttercup, yeah he was, and I bet he still is, but in a kinky, angry way. Ooh, this is a good parking spot.
I want to stop with the whole part where she goes, yes, I've been abused and my entire life has been controlled by this person. What I dislike the most is that I can't specifically be openly gay. Which I get is a reference to make, but it's a reference I feel is less powerful by the sheer amount of psychological manipulation they have forced upon these characters.
So
I feel like it's realistically a drop in the bucket. Like, as an example of a larger story, yeah. But the largest...
I mean, are you telling me the fact that they mentally and emotionally manipulated Blossom into coming to help this superhero bullshit? And then Buttercup claims, hey, look at how I was emotionally and mentally twisted. Yeah.
This is also the softball thing. What if I, an attractive character, was actually lesbian? Not even like... It's not even like they're trans. Like, if you wanted to go for the hardest shock and artistic effect route, what if one of the Powerpuff Girls were trans? Holy shit.
That would be an interesting direction, but the thing is that the amount of shit the CW would get. The amount of...
Well, yeah, it's the CW. They
Holy
couldn't write that well if they tried.
Yeah, they would end up stereotyping it too hard and not doing it proper justice.
It's such a delicate subject, they would just fucking bury themselves.
Yeah, because they don't do delicate well. They just can't. They don't know how the fuck to write it. Interior, the volcano, day. An Americana dive ball, Buttercup, Blossom, Bubbles, and Ace enter to find the volcano popping. A picture of the rowdy rough boys, Brick, Boomer, and Butch hangs on the wall. Buttercup, Butch! Butch, now a super hot bartender, gives Buttercup and Blossom big hugs. Butch gets the Bubbles and frowns, standoffish. Bubbles, where's my hug? Butch, last time I saw you, you broke off our engagement and told me you'd pawn the ring for drugs. Bubbles, was that you? Buttercup elbows-o.
If you're on the audio, you missed this complete face of incredibly. I just gave. I enjoy the delivery of like, oh yeah, they're like us but guys, whatever. They're a fun boy band. He is now, his only describing character is that he is hot and he is currently a bartender. Also, he was engaged to one of the Powerpuff Girls.
Bubbles.
One of the power.
The one that's a recovering drug addict.
For drugs.
So she's a recovering drug addict, and they're playing that for one of the biggest jokes currently, is that she was a drug addict.
Because that's what you want to joke about, obviously.
Yeah.
Because if real people do that, that can be a coping mechanism. If characters do that, you're an asshole.
Yeah. Buttercup, have a drink with us. We'll never heal, and we never will be again. Butch smiles, relents. Alright, okay, one shot. Bubbles, oh, duels for me, please, thank you. Butch leaves to grab them drinks. Buttercup makes eyes of a hot goal across the ball. Macy. Blossom, aren't we here to investigate? Buttercup, I'm here to pick up bi-curious townies. You're here to avoid Drake. Bubbles is here to investigate, but she forgot Butch hates her. Luckily, we're dealing with another hate bono, so alcohol helps. Blossom, why do you know so much about hate bonos? Buttercup, life is one big hate bono.
They lampshaded it, so it's not as funny now, but it's still bad. They're really on this. Also, why did I? This is an even more fucking thing. It's like, I'll give you one shot for free, which is like, wow. But also only one of them actually requested a drink. So I guess they're all just getting a shot of O'Doul's now.
At a table, Blossom, Buttercup, and Bubbles throw back their shots. Buttercup continues.
They're all getting a shot of O'Doul's now, okay?
Remember our 15th birthday at that weird honky-tonk? Blossom, Bubbles peed herself. You threw Carrot Top out a window, and Sarah picked us up at 3 a.m. Never told Dad. Buttercup, I can't believe they used to have sex. Can you imagine Drake? I bet he's so mechanical. Blossom, and really precise. Bubbles, I bet he's generous. Blossom and Buttercup throw napkins and trash at Bubbles.
This is
Blossom
supposedly
and
their father
no,
character.
Filth,
I don't.
not okay.
Finally, but what I
mean, she does call him Daddy.
No. Cease. I don't. I'm not.
All of the sisters crack up. By the ball, the sisters kick back another round of shots. Bubbles flirts with Butch, who's softened considerably. Bubbles nods to a door marked "Do Not Enter." Bubbles, what's in there? Butch, it's top secret. Secret. Bubbles, like an evil laboratory? Butch laughs it off. Bubbles eyes the room, dying to get in. Other end of the ball. Blossom waits for a drink, watching a Bitmoji from Clive. I guess technically Brand? Clive Bitmoji, call me, love you. Blossom smiles, puts her phone away, and notices young Blossom on a ball stool beside her, sucking down a go-gurt. Young Blossom, admit it, you're having fun. You always have fun when you're with them. Blossom takes in her surroundings, her sisters. She's having fun. As Blossom savors the moment.
This isn't even manipulation by a character. This is just manipulation by the writers, okay? It's okay if they manipulate you and ignore all of your needs. You have fun, right? You enjoy this. I am a child. Your therapist said to like me.
I am the connection to the audience because look, I look like the actual Powerpuff Girls because I am apparently a figment of your imagination to help you through therapy.
But not therapy, because we're not going to actually bother to invest time in that. This is just a coping mechanism that doesn't work and doesn't make sense.
Instead, this is just a childhood version of you basically telling you what you should feel in this moment, like a bad D&D campaign.
They haven't even done an inner monologue bit, haven't they?
No, this is the inner monologue. The goal, the child is the inner monologue.
Also, they really just had one of the Powerpuff Girls get drunk and then hit on a bartender to attempt to find the location of the evil lair.
I mean, yeah, come on. Karuthos, can you buy a drink? Can I buy you a drink? Young Blossom disappears. Blossom turns to find Henrietta's neighbor, Karuthos. Blossom smiles and tries to leave, but Karuthos pushes a stool in front of her with a loud scrape. Karuthos, I said, can I buy you a drink? Buttercup notices Karuthos stepping up to Blossom, as Blossom clocks a faint yellow glint in his eyes. Buttercup, what's going on here? Karuthos turns to Buttercup. Thing looks back at Blossom. Karuthos, aren't you the Powerpuff Girls? Buttercup, Powerpuff. No D, like you. Karuthos grabs Buttercup's arm. Blossom's eyes go wide. Blossom, oh no. On Bubbles, making out with Butch against the wall, trying to inch her way closer to the Do Not Enter room just as Karuthos sails across the room, bursting through the Do Not Enter door. Bubbles peeks her head inside. It's a supplies closet filled with swords and pesticides. Can you tell what happened?
I finally get what they're going for here.
What?
What's the one show that's the fucking, like, comic of the two, like, teenagers, whatever, but it's, like, them in their early 20s and they're just very horny for 5 seasons?
Beavis and Butthead?
No. I forgot what the fucking... It's like... It was a comic strip, not a animated series. Archie. I think this like adaptation they made of that in their 20s where they're just really horny has like 6 seasons.
You mean Riverdale?
Yes. I think they're trying to make Powerpuff Girls Riverdale.
Oh my god, you're right.
And the intro's just fucked because that's such a wacky concept.
Because they have to deal with the original show in a way, so they just... That's why they killed off Mojo. Because they couldn't figure out how the fuck...
They don't care who the villain is. They don't want stories. They just want horny Powerpuff Girls.
They want to... Wait, if they wanted Riverdale with Powerpuff Girls, why didn't they put them in high school?
They took them out of high school again, remember? One of them has a doctorate.
Yeah. What I'm saying is Riverdale starts with them being in high school, and then this last season is them out of high school being adults. So why wouldn't you do at least one season of child, one season of teenager, and then do the rest of the seasons of as adults if you wanted to do it that way? So I feel like they're trying to do Riverdale, but they're doing it badly.
I'm not saying the CW has this kind of tact, but, you know, any chance not to have to sexualize minors?
Fuck.
If you can just give them enough flaws to speedrun them out of looking like children as fast as possible.
What the fuck?
Was this a good idea? No, but they tried it.
Jesus. Ugh. Exterior of the volcano night. Buttercup and Blossom and Ace walk out. Butch physically carries out a flailing Bubbles. Bubbles. Stop! I'm an American treasure! Butch leaves. Bubbles hisses at him. Turns to Buttercup. Bubbles. Dude. Not cool. Buttercup. What? He was a creep. And Blossie was full of deer in the headlights. Blossom. His eyes had a weird glint. I was trying to suss it out. Suss among us. Suss among us.
Shame on you.
Buttercup. What's there to suss out? His botched cataract surgery? Blossom. Why do you keep coming at me? I get it. I screwed up. Buttercup. No. Bubbles screwed up. Like, constantly. You left. Blossom. I'm sorry, okay? What more do you want from me? Buttercup. I want the old Blossom.
What the fuck? This is uncomfortable even for fucking the Powerpuff Riverdale theory.
Buttercup becomes emotional. Bubbles nods to Ace to film. Buttercup, you used to boss us around and have a perspective in Kale. You were all little, and now you're this weak, closed off, mopey. Bubbles. Loser? Blossom. You know what I think? I think I'm the only one here that actually grew up. Because neither of you can handle it. Because you're still beating up people in bars like you did when you were 15. And Bubbles is wearing knee socks on a Hollywood boulevard. Notices Bubbles filming. Bubbles, stop filming!
So they're all in the scene now? Which one got carried out by the bartender? But which may or may not have been consensual and may or may not have been incredibly bad sexual harassment.
So the order of events is Carruthers walks up to Blossom. Is real to Blossom. Blossom notices the glint.
We understand that bad guy did bad thing, got slapped across thing, and they're all walking out in after thing of villain did thing, but villain didn't work.
Buttercup chucked Carruthers into the back room. Then
Yes.
fucking whatever the hell his name is, Butch, escorted them out. Bubbles wouldn't leave, so he picked up Bubbles, I'm assuming fireman style, and dragged her ass out.
But wasn't that the one that was also hitting on him at the time?
Butch was the one who was making out with Bubbles.
That kind of I get the impression here, but these are super powered women. I think fuck, there's no way to walk around this.
If Bubbles didn't want to get carried out, Bubbles could have literally punched him into dust.
Okay, good. You said it, so I didn't have to.
Buttercup charges Bubbles and Ace trying to get them to shut off the camera. Bubbles steps on her, protecting the cameraman. Buttercup, stop holding out our lives. Bubbles, you guys bungled the investigation. Your dysfunction is all I have. As Bubbles and Buttercup circle each other, Blossom notices a Razor scooter brand Razor scooter charging station across the street. Blossom grabs the iPad brand from the car, checks Drake's numbers. Blossom, hey guys. Bubbles' eyes go frosty as she drops into her ice breath mode. Buttercup, ice mean you're going in the dumpster. Blossom, guys! They look at her. I think this is the unusual concentration of high-frequency technology Drake was talking about. Blossom points to the Razor scooters. Buttercup laughs. Buttercup, oh my god. See, Bubs? He's a sad, lonely quack. Let's go. Buttercup heads to the car. Bubbles sighs, looks to Ace. Bubbles, let's get some B-roll, I guess. Bubbles looks over to Ace's shoulder as he films the charging station at the base of the apartment complex. Then he floats up, see a figure watching Bubbles and Ace from their window. Interior, Henrietta's lair. Night.
I'm not even like angry at the script at this point. This is just like very sadly average.
I mean, come on, you just had the scene of them all yelling at each other. Come on.
Yeah, but they've yelled at each other like 3 times so far, and it gets less interesting every single time. Because it's the same conflict, and there's no progression.
It's Bubbles keeps trying to relive her childhood stardom, Blossom ran away, and Buttercup is being a bitch. And saying, why me, why me?
The villain of the story is either Buttercup or the Doctor, and I'm not sure which.
Are you the Buttercup isn't the fucking small child?
I can't. What happened to the woman that is essentially their surrogate mother in this circumstance?
Oh, who the fuck cares? She doesn't exist anymore. Fuck that. That's the original show. Fuck the original show. Fuck you. Die.
But they established this character and then they ripped her out of the story by force.
Come on. Fuck you. You had expectations? Fuck you. This is recolored fucking Riverdale, but even worse than Riverdale. Interior, Henrietta's lair. Night. Reveal Henrietta watching them leave. Her evil lair is directly above the charging station, and is the source of energy that Drake identified. Henrietta turns inside.
Is the narrator saying this?
Yes! Surprised to find JoJo sitting in an armchair! Henrietta, do you break into homes of all the little girls you hire to do your evil bidding? JoJo notices a woolly bear on his arm, flicks it off. JoJo, just the ones who've murdered their parents. Let's rotate.
Okay, so
How's progress?
of all of the nicknames to give a child,
Short stack!
Short stack has some implications that
Yes,
I do
it
not like.
does!
I don't like those implications, especially running on the Powerpuff Girls Riverdale theory, and I don't want it. I'm not here for it.
Are you telling me that JoJo Mondale might be calling short stacks up for some of them booty calls? I'm a horrible human being.
Maybe he's slightly racist and slightly misogynistic and apparently a pedophile. Is that why we should kill him? Is this what it is?
Is that the reason why he's the villain? Henrietta, ups and downs. JoJo's eyes.
I got bored with this, but I just want to know. I want this to be established, okay?
Eyes Henrietta, less than thrilled with her response. JoJo, the Powerpuff Girls collect their trust fund in 12 hours. That's how long you have to put the 3 of those little bugs in their brains so I can control their minds, make them throw a school bus of kids into a river, Henrietta, and save the day. Cementing your re-election. I know the playbook, Juge, and I love it, aside from the saving the kids part. Can I just send my boy Kurulos on a mission? And it was no bueno. Revealed Kurulos on Henrietta's couch, looking beat up. Henrietta, like a scolding dog. The mission was to try to get a bug into Blossom's ear, but instead we saw a fight with Buttercup. Didn't we? Didn't we? To JoJo, I need to do more testing. JoJo, you have 12 hours, or I make you eat every single one of these bugs, turn you into the FBI, and you become the youngest person to ever be executed in America. Got it? Henrietta's speechless, but clearly gets the message. JoJo heads for the door, tripping on a pair of shoes. He feels he looks stupid. He does, so he calls out angrily behind JoJo, 12 hours! End of Act 2.
This is apparently an acting mayor whose answer is not, I have connections, I will have you killed. It is, yes, 14-year-old, I'll give you the FBI, and the U.S. court system will give a 14-year-old federal-level capital punishment, because that's a thing they do at the federal level. Jojo really said fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids, indeed. Alright, Troy, we'll win.
We're not going further than this. We're already at fucking like an hour and 18 on the recording clock. Okay, we've been gone.
I just realized. So we're into Act 3, which normally would be the final act in this structure. I want you to guess how much is left in the script. There's a total of 65 pages.
How fucking
We're at page 34. Half of this script is dedicated to the third act. What the fuck happens? I guess we'll find out the next time that we read this shit.
Do we have enough time in this fucking podcast to go through this abomination?
I mean, do you want to attempt to get through it all in one sitting?
No.
No?
No.
Then I guess on the note of 12 hours, we will end this. Before we end the episode, so Troy, what did you think? What do you think so far of the Powerpuff Girls reboot?
Attempting to make a faithful thing of the Powerpuff Girls? Absolute failure. Down the ditch. Powerpuff Girls Riverdale theory? Holy shit, no. Pain.
No.
God. Whatever writer put together the fucking bit with Blossom, it makes me actually uncomfortable. Holy shit.
Which bit?
All of it.
All of the whole, like...
She's being emotionally abused by characters we're supposed to somehow root for every single page.
I mean, come on. She's the favorite. It means she gets fucked, right? Just completely fucked.
The script is just fucking terrible.
And honestly, I'm like when you're watching like The Room and you have to stop halfway through to stop because you're pissing yourself laughing. I'm about at that point with this fucking script. I really want to see what the fuck happens in this final half of the script.
It can't go anywhere. There's just...
So, Future Glenn, clip this right now of him saying this can't get any worse, and we'll see how he feels next
we've
time.
Seen so far, the beginning was fucking terrible. Pain. But through the middle, it's just gotten, like, very sad and monotonous. It's, like, below average fare.
Well, yeah, they got through all the fun superhero bullshit, now they're in sad, depressing adults.
You still have to sell the fucking show. And they're definitely not writing a drama, not with these writers.
It's called, they're gonna make their merch sales in t-shirts, Funko Pops, and getting people on Twitter to complain hard enough to where it gets 1 million seasons. That's how they win.
Someone has to watch it for that.
Doesn't matter. They don't have to watch it. Like a fucking Batwoman. They're at like what? Season 3, season 4, and it's only now kind of getting good? Barely?
I don't
No.
know, man. It's not my problem.
But, alright. On that note, let's go ahead and end this episode of the Crispy Gamers podcast. This has been Glenn.
This has been Troy. Thank you all for watching or
Yeah.
listening or etc. There should be other episodes of this podcast up there. I know. I can't believe it either. Subscribe, follow, whatever.
And hey, if y'all have any anything that you want me to show to Troy to make him feel pain, put it in the comments.
If y'all want to, have legitimate human interactions, send that to,
Yeah.
just anything to have something other than painful scripts or fucking Garfield restaurants.
Speaking of,
No, the episode ends.